Right. On the community page on the YouTube channel, I posted asking what people would like to see. And one of the comments was, could you talk about people who are moving from streaming who have decided to start collecting physical media but don't want to break the bank? So, like, you don't want to be spending too much money, but you want to have a collection. Now, this collection is years worth of collecting. So I've been collecting Blu-rays since 2010, 2011, maybe something like that. In fact, what's the first Blu-ray? I don't even know what the first Blu-ray is I bought. But I've been collecting DVDs since 2001, which is why I have like 11 years worth of DVDs. But before that was VHS. But the one thing that I should have done when I started collecting was to budget. Now, you can watch YouTube. You can watch these collectors. You can watch people like Mid-Level Media or Jamie or Boutique Blu-rays with Elliot. And you could watch people like Serial at Midnight or Kermit's Ghost and Big Paulie and these other really interesting characters on YouTube. And you can see their collections. But the one thing you don't want to do is aspire to have collections that big, because that takes a long time. And you do find that you end up buying a lot of trash. Let's face it, a lot of the movies that people own are trash. So you need to, I'll do this in tips. So tip number 1 to start collecting physical media is to budget. Set yourself a budget each month that you stick to, that you want to buy your products for. It could, depending on what you earn or how much you have, it could be between £50 and £100 or $50 and $100, or wherever you're from, it could be that. Or if you're Mr. Moneybanks, then you could maybe have like a $200 or £200 budget that you could buy multiple things with. Personally, I think setting yourself between 50 and 100 is the perfect spot. And that is the one thing that I never did until a couple of years ago, because I stopped collecting for a good 3 or 4 years. 2017 to 2021, I kind of just stopped. I'd pick up the 1 or 2 every now and then. I'd have them like 1 or 2 for Christmas and birthdays and stuff like that people would buy. But I completely stopped the full on buying. But then I thought, well, I love it, so why not continue to do what I love? But this time I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to budget. I'm going to use more common sense when it comes to buying physical media. So tip number 1 is budget. Set yourself a budget of how much you can afford that doesn't put you into a financial situation where you are struggling. So between £50 and £100 if you can afford it. If you can't, then I would probably say between 25 and 50. But then if you still can't afford that, maybe collecting physical media is not an avenue that you want to travel down, because financially it's not viable. Like, I'm going to have to move and sell my house, and I'll have a mortgage then, so the buying of the Blu-rays is going to drastically drop. At the moment, I'm in a position where I can afford certain things, but I still budget to how much that I'm going to spend. Maybe not this month. I've kind of gone a little bit crazy this month, but then that's because of sales, which brings me on to point number 2, or tip number 2, sales. Sales are your best friend. When you're collecting physical media, if you're after a specific like label release, or like you're collecting a specific label, then sales are a godsend. Now, I would highly recommend buying your sale items from the label directly. HMV is another really good place to buy from. Online, they have the same deals online that they do in store. But if you're going to buy, say, like an Arrow release, if there's an Arrow release that you want, just wait for a sale. A sale, it might get released at $18.99. When it's on the sale, it's $9.99, which is like another £9 cheaper. So you can get that. Other companies such as 88 Films, again, they have really good sales. I think they had a sale not so long ago, the Year of the Dragon sale, where some of their higher end priced Hong Kong movies, the Kung Fu movies, were drastically cut. Some of them are still quite high, so you're looking at like $17.99 or $18.99, but some of them you were able to pick up for a tenner, which is fantastic, which is great. So sales and offers are always going to be your best friend. Maybe not so much the Criterion sale here in the UK, because the sale is just shit. It's shit. It was $24.99, now $23.99. Stupid shit like that. And there's only 43, I think, titles that are available out of 300 plus titles. But then, if you can afford to buy Criterion movies, and it's what you want to collect, then yes, you could collect Criterion movies. But I would highly recommend sales for like the bigger things that you want. So one of these is like, I love this film. I've loved this film for years. I own it on the DVD. I had it on VHS. I never owned it on Blu-ray, but I saw this on Rare Waves. There was a little advert that came up on Facebook that said Rare Waves Easter sale on. So I was like, oh, do you know, it's Rare Waves. I used to buy from them all the time when they had an Amazon shop. That's where most of my Region 1 DVDs came from, is from Rare Waves US. So I thought, do you know what, Rare Waves, I've used them so many times in the past. I was quite sad when they disappeared from Amazon Marketplace. And so a lot of my DVDs just my DVD buying of like international or Region 1 stuff ended. But I was going through their, the Blu-rays and the 4Ks to see what they had on sale. And I spotted this. And I fucking love this movie. I've loved it since I was very, very small. It's Transformers the movie in 4K. I had no idea Transformers the movie was out in 4K. And I had no idea that it was out in 4K from E1 and Shout Factory in the UK. And I believe this is quite recent. 2023, I think this came out. I think so. I'm not sure. Now, I don't know how much this is normally, but on Rare Waves, it was 14 quid. And I was like, 14 quid for the 4K Ultra HD Transformers the movie. Well, for that price, you might as well take a punt on it. So I did. And it came, and I watched it the other day, and it looks phenomenal. So, yeah. So, I mean, you can get these little ads that will come up, and it'll say, oh, yeah, you can get this for this price compared to how much it is at, like, maybe Zavvi or HMV, brand new on the shelf. This was brand new. It was sealed when it came. 4K UHD of Transformers the movie for 14 quid. Cannot go wrong. So this is what I'm talking about when you're buying stuff. You can look around for sales. Again, and I've mentioned this twice now in multiple different videos. Flash Gordon. This Flash Gordon set is normally 50 quid, $49.99. This was on sale on Amazon for $31.99. This is 5 discs. It includes the soundtrack by Queen, and it's got 24 episodes of Flash Gordon on there, from 1979 to 1982. Disc 4 is Life After Flash, which is a really, really good documentary about Sam J. Jones and what happened after his role as Flash Gordon. He made a couple of action movies, and then he ended up as a high-level protection agent in Mexico City, or Mexico, which is such an odd kind of line to go into. But when he was talking about it, it basically sounded like that was what he was made for. Disc 1 and Disc 2 is the 4K UHD and the Blu-ray, and Disc 5 is the original soundtrack by Queen. So for $31.99, I would never have paid 50 quid for this, because it's 50 quid. If that was my budget, then that would be my budget gone. But considering it was almost £20 off for this gorgeous set, and it is a gorgeous set, it's absolutely stunning. Like, you have to take that you have to take the deal because it's so good. So that's like Flash Gordon. So sales are always going to be your best friend. What I wouldn't suggest is not following, but taking the advice of the big name streamers in this sort of community. So people like Serial at Midnight and Mid-Level Media and these big American, the sort of blue tubers or whatever they are, because they seem to have like endless pockets of money, endless streams of money, especially mid-level media. And someone did point out that Serial at Midnight does get review copies sent to him by Kino Lorber, which is why he's able to review all the Kino films per month. But mid-level media, I don't know whether or not he gets review copies or something, but he seems to buy every single thing that gets released, regardless of whether or not the film is good or the film is bad. There are a lot of films that get released by Vinegar Syndrome in the States. A lot of them are shit. They are fucking crap B-movies that for some reason Vinegar Syndrome has thought, you know what, this piece of shit film that cost 150 quid to make deserves a 4K UHD Ultra HD blah blah special edition. When that is just you, and if you're then spending a premium price on something like that, then you need your head seen to. But like I said, like recently there's been quite a lot of sales because of Easter. So Arrow had a sale, 88 Film had a sale for Chinese New Year. Rare Waves had their Easter sale, which is where I got Transformers from, and I've ordered 2 Radiance movies because I don't own a single Radiance film, and there are movies from Radiance that I really want to own, but I'm not willing to spend $17.99 per movie. So Rare Waves had this offer, which was 20% off Radiance titles. So it's just like, well, that sounds pretty good. I really want to get Miami Blues, and I really want to get Graveyard of Honor. So I was just like, if I get them, it's going to cost, they're going to essentially be about 10 quid per movie. So I was just like, you know what? I'll go for it. I'll do it. I'll put the code in. I did. I put the code in, and I got Miami Blues and Graveyard of Honor from Radiance through Waves, and it came to about £20 and 78 pence. So that's something I would do. And again, probably the best sale on at the moment is Powerhouse. They have just launched their Easter sale. They launched it post-Easter, which is a really good strategy because everyone's going to have spent all their money like buying the Arrow releases, which, to be fair, Arrow sale this Easter was shit. And they've put up a 3 for £15 deal. Normally it's 3 for 20, but 3 for 15 quid. So obviously I'm going to take advantage of a 3 for £15 offer because Powerhouse is one of my favourite labels because they do such good work. But the best thing about that deal is it isn't just limited to the regular standard releases. They've even included the limited releases in the offer. So a limited release that is normally about 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 quid is now a fiver with however other films you want. And yes, I've ordered 3. I ordered a million, what was it? 2 million miles to Earth or 1 million miles to Earth. I've ordered, do you know what? I can't. Day of the Dolphin, I think it is, and Grey Lady Down. So I'm waiting for them to arrive, and they will be in the update. There's a few more that I'm waiting to arrive, and that's when I'm going to do the what the fuck did I buy. So another one, like, I wanted to talk about, and again, sales, like I said, are amazing, is when you've got your budget, if there are certain things that you want to buy, you don't have to buy them all in one go. So I've been buying these. These are the Warner Brothers Cine Experience releases of the Mad Max movies. This is Mad Max one. This is the 4K. And this is the Road Warrior in 4K. And they come in these hard cases. These are fantastic releases from Warner Brothers. These aren't on sale. These are $24.99 each, which again is a really good price considering when you buy something like this, which is a great release. This was when it came out, it was $39.99. I think it was $39.99. I wasn't going to pay 40 quid for Flight of the Navigator. I love Flight of the Navigator, but I wasn't going to pay 40 quid for this. This was a birthday present. No, this was a Christmas present from my brother. Or was it a birthday present? It was one of those. And I think he managed to get it at a decent price. Same with Dawn of the Dead. Like, my favourite film of all time. Well, my favourite horror film of all time. I adore this film more than I probably should. Right behind me, and I will show you, is a Dawn of the Dead poster. So I love Dawn of the Dead. So when Second Sight announced that they were releasing Dawn of the Dead in a 4K, a special edition Blu-ray and a standard edition Blu-ray, I looked at the special edition Blu-ray. It was before I wasn't going to pay the money for the 4K. I looked at the standard edition, the special edition Blu-ray, and I thought, do I really need all of that? And then I looked at the standard release, and I actually prefer the cover for the standard release because it's more in line with the poster that I just showed, colour-wise. Yes, it doesn't have the green writing, but the red writing is what we all know. This was $24.99 for the standard edition. I think the special edition was $59.99 or $69.99 on Blu-ray and $79.99 on 4K. So these really awesome releases were £25 a pop. Now, back to the Mad Max films. So my plan was to get these because I adore the Mad Max movies. I watched The Road Warrior the other night and it looks fantastic. And I forgot how much I love that movie. I made the decision not to buy them all in one go. $24.99 a pop. If I bought them all in one go, it'd be 75 quid. And that's not something I'm willing to part with for just 3 movies. So, I buy one of these a month. So, the first month, obviously, I bought Mad Max. This month, I bought The Road Warrior. And next month, I will buy Beyond Thunderdome. Now, it's a shame that Warner Brothers hasn't done a 4K edition like this of Fury Road, because how cool would it be to have Mad Max, The Road Warrior, Thunderdome, and then Fury Road, because Fury Road is a gorgeous movie and we all love it. So I think that's what people need to do if you want to start collecting physical media, is with your budget, decide what you want, make a list, try and get those films that you want, but split them across certain days. Then you won't be overspending, and you won't be, not over certain days, over a certain amount of months. So you won't be overspending, and you won't be finding yourself caught up in struggles. So this next tip is to look around, to shop about, to try and find different prices of things. I'm not talking about sales now. I'm talking about different online retailers will have different prices. So I just got this. This is Tripods. This is the BBC show from 1984 and 1985. I have owned season 1 for about 10 years on DVD. I've never seen season 2. I am currently in the process of writing a detailed outline of what the BBC did between the early 70s and the mid 80s. BBC and British television, and how they looked at dystopian movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And I'd never seen series 2 of Tripod, so I was just like, you know what, it's about time I got it. I've got season 1 or series 1, but you can't buy series 2 on its own, so I have to buy series 1 again. But if it means I get series 2, I have to buy it. I have to take the plunge and get it. Now, I looked around at this. This is $19.99 in HMV. That's not what I paid. Most places have it at like $13.99 or $14.99, or $12.99 used. I bought this from Music Magpie. This was £12.89 brand new. In fact, it was £12.95 pre-owned from Music Magpie. So obviously I'm going to buy the brand new one because it's cheaper. So now I own series 1 and series 2, finally, after 10 years. But I got it cheaper because I shopped around. Because I looked around, I looked for different prices. Now you can do that by just typing in things on Google. Say you want a copy of all the Lethal Weapon movies. Like, I bought this when I was working in Blockbuster, so this is quite old. I think I got discount on this because I work there. But say you want this, but like some places, that's just an example. I don't even know how much it sells for now. But say it was like HMV had it for $29.99, and then Zavi had it $27.99, or like, I don't know, eBay, someone was selling it for $14.99 in the same condition. Shop around, look for the best price. That way you won't be breaking the bank, you won't be overspending, and you'll be getting yourself a pretty decent deal. So it's always worth just shopping around. That is probably the best thing. The one thing also I wouldn't recommend doing is watch Blu-ray hunting videos. Like they are fun. They are like pretty good. We watch people go around HMV or CEX. Kermit's Ghost is really good at doing it. Big Paulie's pretty good at doing it. I know Elliot Boutique Blu-rays has started doing it. Personally, I won't be doing that because I like shopping. So I think maybe it's because I came from working at a video rental store for 10 years where most of my day was me just walking around the shop reading the back of boxes and stuff. And I always enjoyed that thing. So having to hold my phone in front of a box to be like, this is this is this, or this costs this much, this costs this much. And it gets me quite angry as well, because like with the Blu-ray hunting, we all see the prices. We see the prices in HMV. Some of them are more expensive than you would tend to pay because for some real weird reason, HMV likes to sell everything at the recommended retail price, not at a lower price compared to their competitors. So say if Zavi was selling, for example, the Vestron collection of The Wraith, great movie by the way, for $12.99 for an example, but HMV was selling it for $19.99. Why? Which one would you buy? Well, you just buy it online. It's free shipping anyway. Obviously, it takes longer to get to you, and it's not there straight away. But for some reason, HMV always charge the higher price. But the biggest anger factor of watching Blu-ray hunting videos is CEX's pricing. Now, my brother works for CEX, and he knows that their pricing is fucked. I don't understand why, but I'm not going to go on about their prices for too long, because he always tells me to shut up when I'm like, this is brand new. This is this much brand new, so why is it this much? So, I've just ordered, like I said, Miami Blues from Radiance on Blu-ray through Rare Waves, and it cost me about a tenner. Brand new. You go into CEX, and for example, there's a CEX around the corner from my house. I went in there, they had Miami Blues on Blu-ray. They were charging $15.99 for it. So do I buy a pre-owned copy of Miami Blues for $15.99? Or £16 or £15 or whatever it was? Or do I look around and find a cheaper option? Which, full circle, back to shopping around. So I wouldn't recommend watching Blu-ray hunting videos as a means of finding movies. I would watch it for entertainment and just to see what's new, what's out. So to collect movies, one of the big things is to know your genres, know what you want, know what you like. Me, most of my stuff here is action and science fiction because I love sci-fi and I love action. Yeah, I've got a pretty decent horror DVD collection, but I've kind of gone off horror over the last few years because everything seems to be the same thing over and over again. There's not, like, 10 years ago it was zombies, well, 20 years ago it was zombies. Now it's spooky dooky wooky movies where ghosts and jump scares galore all over the place, and elevated horror, which is a fucking stupid name. It just means it's an art house movie that's a horror movie and it has a higher budget than, I don't know, maybe Child's Play 2. But you gotta know your genres. So, like, I love movies. I've told you this multiple times. I've said how much I love cinema, and like my library is a sort of archive of cinema history, going everywhere from like black and white noir movies, Alfred Hitchcock movies, to 70s zombie films, Australian exploitation cinema, to like even the shittest Terminator movie ever made, Terminator Genesis. I have this because it's part of the collection, and I needed it because it has to go with this Terminator Salvation, which is a good movie. I don't get why people hated it. Terminator Salvation is good. So is Terminator Dark Fate. Well, I say it's not good. It's watchable. So you need to know your genres. It's pointless buying every single thing that comes out if you're not going to enjoy that type of movie. And I've got examples of films that I bought that I've never watched, only because I'm like, it's a piece of cinema history, I need to have it on a DVD or Blu-ray. I own Citizen Kane, never watched it, never had any interest in watching it, don't know why I own it, but I think because it's like, it's the film of films, it's Citizen Kane, I need to own it. I don't need to own it, no interest in it. Another film I went to my friend's house, we had a movie day, we watched Roadhouse and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, which is a film from the late 70s, I think it is. I think it might be 80 or 75, something like that. I'm not sure. But it's Dolly Parton and it's Burt Reynolds and it's a comedy musical and it's a good film. This is about like 10 years ago now. So while I'm at my friend's house, we watched the movie. I was like, that's fun. I'm going to buy a copy of that. I bought the DVD. It's still sealed. I've had it for 10, 12 years. Never watched it since. It's still sealed. Why did I buy it? Because I liked it at the time and thought, oh, I'll watch this again. Never watched it again. Don't know why I bought it. Wasted my money. So, you need to know your genres. Know what you like. Know what films that you want to collect. If you want to collect science fiction, collect science fiction. But make sure that you know the films that you want to collect. So, yeah, you could collect Star Wars. You could collect Star Trek. You could collect 2001 The Space Odyssey. 2010 The Year We Made Contact. Mad Max even comes into science fiction. Flash Gordon comes under science fiction. Things like Dark City, Heavy Metal, Defcon 4, Zardos. Zardos is another movie which is fantastic, but bonkers, and a great science fiction movie. And something like this, Underwater. Awesome film. It's like Aliens crossed with Cthulhu. It's fucking amazing. This just came today, and I love this movie. If you like action movies, you could buy things like the Lethal Weapon box set, or a good example of buying a collection was when I picked this up from America. This is the Rambo collection. It's got lovely silver boxes. This is the Rambo collection. I bought this years ago because I think this came out. What year did this come out? I can't even remember, but I think this is like the first release of the Rambo movies on Blu-ray, and I bought this through Amazon, I think it was. So, like, buying collections is really good, and you can get some collections super cheap. So, if you like things like that, or if you like horror movies, and you want to maybe collect slasher films, or you want to collect zombie movies, or spooky wooky dooky ghost movies, but let's face it, Poltergeist is the best spooky wooky dooky ghost movie. Then it's The Omen, then it's The Changeling. That's the tier list of spooky wooky dooky ghost movies. But yeah, know your genres. Don't buy everything, because at the end of the day, you'll never get around to watching them all. That's the problem I've got. I'm assuming that's the problem a lot of other collectors have. So, in conclusion, to wrap it all up, budget. Shop around, sales, and know what your genres are. Because without knowing what you like, you will end up with 9,000 movies. And you will have no space for them. Most of them will be worthless to if you want to spend, if you want to buy, well, if you want to sell them. Because you will do the thing that most people do when they start collecting physical media, is they will go for quantity over quality. I did it. I'm assuming a lot of other big name YouTubers have done that. What you want to do is you want to curate yourself a library of cinema that you love, that you want to find out about, but you don't want to have the hassle of spending too much money on a hobby that is mainly just going to sit on shelves. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this. This has taken me years and years and years and years and years of collecting to get to, and I love it. It's currently not in the best organization. It needs to be completely redone, but it's pointless me doing that now, because it's all going to have to come off the shelves very soon, because I'm going to have to move. So once I've moved, I can redo it all, and I can do it how I want it to be. But what you will also find as a physical media collector is that this will never, ever, ever be how you want it to be. There will always be ways to improve it. You might want to change it around. Like currently, I've got box sets on this side. So well, I've got 4Ks at the start, but it's alphabetical. Sort of. It was. Oh, this is another really good option. Going back to the deals and sales and stuff. Batman, the animated series, I love this show. I watched this show as a kid. I watched it as an adult. I still love it. I owned the DVDs of these, but I ended up selling them because it was at a time where I didn't have any money and I really needed money, and I sold them. This was, I think it was on offer at 30 quid, down from however much it was, and I was just like, you know what, I've got to do it. I've got to get Batman. So yeah, so I bought it in a sale, and it's great. Look at it, it's huge, massive box set. And it looks fantastic on Blu-ray as well, by the way. So, like I said, this is my life. Movies are my life. I know that sounds like a sad thing to say, but spending the amount of money that I've spent over the years on this, and yes, most of these are standard releases compared to maybe the couple that I have up the top, but I have the film in a physical format. Now, if I want to watch First Men on the Moon, which is a great little H.G. Wells adaptation, who directed this one? Nathan Juran. Yeah, so this is a really good little sci-fi film from the late 60s. If I want to watch that, and it's not on any streaming platform, I've got the physical copy that I can just put in my player. Now, even if like you don't have a Blu-ray player or a DVD player, if you've got like a console, maybe like an Xbox One, an Xbox Series X, or a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PS4, and Series X, and Series S, I think is 4K, or Series X is 4K. Xbox Series X, I can't remember. I don't know. The latest Xbox and the PlayStation 5 are 4K players. PlayStation 4 is only a Blu-ray player, doesn't play 4K. But the previous Xbox One S and One X, one of those is a 4K player. But you can use them as Blu-ray players, and you can use them as DVD players. You can even buy a really cheap DVD player from Amazon for like 20 quid. So you've always got that option of being able to watch a movie. But if you want to start collecting, if you want to move away from streaming, which a lot of people are doing because there's just not enough content on there. A lot of people will keep their streaming services for certain things. Like I have kept Apple TV. I don't watch anything on Apple TV apart from when they have like a new sci-fi show. So there's one coming up called Dark Matter with Joel Edgerton, which I really want to see because I saw the trailer today. It looks really interesting. I kept it initially for Masters of the Air because I love Band of Brothers and I love the Pacific. But Masters of the Air, I've been waiting since 2011, I think the Pacific came out, or 2010. I've been waiting 14 years for the next installment in the Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks World War II adaptation series to come out, and I've just not even bothered by it. That's the one reason I kept Apple TV, was for Masters of the Air, and I can't even be asked to watch it. Instead, what did I watch the other night? I binged 1985's Tripod Series 2 in 2 nights. It's 12 episodes. Yeah, to be fair, they are 30 minutes each. But I was more intrigued by watching this than watching Masters of the Air. Because you can't get that on TV. It's not on streaming. It's not even on iPlayer. It's a BBC programme. So you can collect a big collection over a very long period of time. But if you want to start collecting, but you don't want to get into a position where you are struggling to be able to afford it, don't try and keep up with people like me. Don't try and keep up with people like Mid-Level Media or Kermit's Ghost, or like the big name. I'm not saying I'm a big name YouTuber. I'm not. I'm really not. I've got less than 2,000 subscribers. But the big name collectors who were the big physical media YouTubers, it's impossible. These people make their living doing that. But if you want to just get yourself a movie collection, like I said, budget, sales, shop around, know your genres. That's all you need. But make sure you don't go overboard. That is the biggest problem you will have. Anyway, that's my little video. 4 tips on starting a physical media collection without breaking the bank, I guess. And thank you very much for watching the last one. Again, this video has gone over longer than I wanted it to, because I was rambling as usual. So thank you very much for everyone who's watched the last videos. There is a hopefully, as soon as these products actually arrive, there will be a What the Fuck Did I Buy part 4 or episode 4 soonish. But I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. As usual, I'm going to throw up the peace sign. I'm going to say I'm out. I'm going to give you a salute, but I'm also going to say please like and subscribe. I don't like saying that because I don't really care if people like or subscribe. I just like talking movies. But I want to engage with people a bit more. So yeah, please like and subscribe. And hit the notification bell. Or don't. I don't fucking care. But everyone, peace. I'm out.